You all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. I was told 5 minutes, so I'm setting myself a timer. And I have my notes. So as Titus mentioned, my name is Jenny Grant, and I serve as the officer for Global Relations and Networking for the Episcopal Church. By education, I'm a social worker, and so I feel really blessed that I've found a place where my faith and my education overlap in some ways. So there's a lot in this reading. I feel particularly in terms of mission and healing. So this morning I'm going to try to pull out just 2 things that I really that stuck out to me. As you know, I have Noah here with me, but at home I also have an almost 3-year-old. So I am deep in the trenches of toddlering at home, and I found sort of some overlaps and connections to the way I think about parenting and the way that I read this reading and what Jesus, I feel like, maybe asking us to do. So the 2 things that I really reflected on were kind of where I found the how we maybe should approach mission and approach the way that we interact in relationships, and then the what Jesus is asking us to do. So I believe sort of the how in this passage that I get is how we enter into relationship, where Jesus says, I'm sending you out like lambs amidst wolves. I feel like he's really inviting us to enter into relationship in this posture of humility. And in doing that, I think that it invites us to be vulnerable and helps build trust in relationship, which I think then these things sort of all connect, which really leads us to a place of healing. And then the second piece, oh, sorry, Daddy. It is a little distracting. And then the second part of what I heard Jesus asking us to do is I hear him asking us to simply be present. To be present with people, to be present in God's creation. And in that, we get an opportunity again to heal ourselves and to heal the world. When we are present, we have an opportunity to remind people that they are loved, and then we are also reminded that we are loved. And sometimes I think about this with my tantruming 3-year-old a good bit. Peace is not always returned when I offer it to him, but I think I feel as it is my job as a parent to be present with him regardless, because he needs to learn that it's okay to be exactly who he is, to have all the feelings that he has in those moments, and that nothing he can do changes the way that I love him. And I feel that that is exactly what God's love is. That no matter what we do, nothing about that changes the way that God feels about us. And so in this passage, I truly feel like Jesus is saying, go, be present. And in that, I think that there's a way to find hope. He's saying, go, be present, use the God-given gifts that I've given you, receive the God-given gifts that the people you are being present with have to offer. And I think, as Rebecca did such a beautiful job yesterday talking about hope, I think that's where we can find hope and healing in the world. And so, why or how we enter with humility and what we're doing is just going and being present with people and in God's creation. I have the opportunity to travel a good bit, or used to, before COVID, around the Anglican Communion, and the Anglican Church's presence around the world is truly remarkable and does bring hope and healing in physical ways, like the eye clinic in Yemen, in spiritual ways, in peace centers in Congo. So truly the Church's presence does make a difference and does bring healing to the world. So I will leave you with God is already working, but our presence and the presence of others in our lives are a tangible reminder of that. When we enter in humility, bringing our God-given gifts and seeking others' God-given gifts, we find hope. Amen. Thank you.